You know the vibes, of course, the Quicksilver Show with Dominic and Diva. We're officially live, and as promised, I got a special guest joining the show by the name of Kendra Jae.
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. I just finished glam. I was rushing to get on the call. Sorry, I'm late.
No, you good. I ready to say it's like 10:30 in the morning, and you full face, hair nice, lips, lashes popping, lips popping. I thought you wanted
gotta
the
be
club.
ready.
I thought you
Gotta
had
be
the club.
ready.
Now, you're from California. This is your first time in DC or East Coast area?
I was so quick to say yeah, but no, this is my first time as the artist Kendra Jae, but I've visited a lot of these cities on tour in my dancing days.
Right. So let's actually talk about that before we get to your new single. A lot of people who might not know who Kendra Jae is, they probably recognize your face because you've been on some very, what's the word I want to use? You've been on some historic tours in your life. And correct me if I'm wrong, you were the youngest dancer on Beyonce's Formation tour?
That's correct. Yep. That was my first, imagine you have this dream of being a professional dancer and touching stage with all these people, and then your first time doing it is with Beyonce on the Formation. Like your first real job isn't like a music video or like a commercial. It's like, no, you're going on a world tour with Beyonce for the Formation World Tour, like crazy.
Explain how, who, what, when, how did you go from a girl in high school to on tour with Beyonce? People who have dreamed of meeting Beyonce, you've toured with Beyonce.
Yeah. So thankful. I every time I talk about my story, I'm like, dang, that experience really changed my life. But just some backstory. Excuse my ugly background.
You good, baby? I ain't tripping.
So I came up dancing. This was I'm not new to, the dream or the concept of move to LA, live my dreams. I had a very supportive, dad and mom, and my pops would be literally get in the car sometimes at 5 a.m. We have our cooler, I have my schoolwork. We would drive to LA and I would do castings, Bratz commercials, Walmart commercials. I did Hip Hop Harry when I was young. So I had some notches on my belt at a young age. I got a little taste of the industry at a young age, which was enticing. And it made me realize I could really make this thing that I love a career, especially when my parents supported me the way that they did. I knew after high school, I was going to graduate, move to LA, chase the dream, graduate, move to LA, chase the dream, except for now I'm an adult. So everyone's pretty, everyone's talented. It's more so about relationships at that point. It's not about who's the cutest or the most talented in the room. It's as adults, people want to work with who they know, who they have a rapport with, who they're friends with oftentimes. So there's a lot of politics in it that I didn't understand. So I had 3 rough years. When I say rough, I mean, I would go to auditions, I would get a call back, I would go to the call back, and then I wouldn't get the call back. So it was you're so close. It's I can see it and I can almost touch it, but I never touch it. So it was like that for 3 years. I was working at restaurant jobs. I worked at Big Wings. I worked at BJ's. I worked at Claim Jumper. I was teaching dance classes. I was hustling. A lot of people I know in that position would have packed up and moved back home. But I was relentless in I'm not going to let up. I know I'm meant to be here. And I just always knew in divine timing and divine timing. Ended up getting dropped from my dance agent. So I moved out there with representation. They were sending me to auditions, got dropped and didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell I didn't tell anyone because it was embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? I'm how you move out here to be a star and you get dropped from your agent? But it was all a part of my journey. It was all supposed to happen because it instilled crazy work ethic in me. It tested my character. It really prepared me for the stuff I'm doing now. So 6 months, dedicated myself to a scholarship program after getting dropped. I was you know what? It would be an athlete getting let go of a team, but knowing that they still deserved a spot on the team, getting with a trainer and really honing in on their craft. So I dedicated myself for 6 months. I was I'm a dance. I did a scholarship program. Shout out to Debbie Reynolds. I was one of the first graduates of the Debbie Reynolds scholarship program. Nice. And it was supposed to prepare me for the industry. Ended up a month before my program was over, I caught wind. I was literally in dance class and a girl next to me was did you hear about the Beyonce audition? And of course I'm no, what? Tell me. It's never recommended to crash auditions. In the dance industry, it's slick, disrespectful. If the choreographer doesn't hand select you to come, it's kind of a slap in the face. But I just was willing to bet on myself. I was look, I got dropped. My ambition, my passion, I've been dedicating the past 6 months to this. I'm going to show up and show out. Showed up to the audition, crashed the audition. I remember at the end of the audition, they make you like stand in a straight line and say your name, where you're from. Stood in line. They asked, who's your agent? Well, remember I told you I got dropped, so I didn't have an agent. So I'm like, Kendra Jae, you know, and they're like, who's your agent? I'm like, independent. And they were just like, who were you with? I said, Block. They were like, you got dropped? I'll never forget it. And he was like, they're stupid. We'll see you at callbacks. Anthony Burrell. I still remember to this day. And they saw it in me, you know, and that callback turned into 2 weeks of auditions, turned into Jaquel Knight calling me and telling me like, pack your bags, like you're going on tour with B. And it was just crazy for that to be my introductory job in the industry. Like I didn't quite identify with it at the time, but I just knew I was going to be bigger than what I had envisioned, you know, and starting with Beyonce opened the floodgates. I came back from tour. I was doing music videos and award shows, and I was booked and blessed, as we say in the dance industry.
I love it, Kendra.
Booked and blessed. Went on to touch stage with B again for Beachella. And then it was kind of that pivoting moment where they didn't ask me to do On the Run 2, which was that same like feeling of failure. Like when my agents dropped me, it was like, what you mean you're not taking me back on the road? But again, that was destined because I ended up going on tour with Drake. I did 2 tours with Drake. Jesus. So it's like at that point, you're like, I toured with Drake, I toured with B, I done all this stuff in between. Like as a dancer, that's like kind of like, you know, top notch is to tour with artists of that caliber. So it was going to be a movie, or I had Rihanna on my list. That was someone else I wanted to tour with. And I was like,
we all love
I could just go be myself. Like I could just go, this is the time. I have everything I need to go and do what I need to do. And in every room I was in, people were always like, you're such a light. You're so charismatic. You're bigger than, like, people were always instilling that in me. And it took some time for me to like own that and really be like, nah, you know what? Like, I don't have to just be in the back. I could like really I could do this. And I always knew I would be here. I just didn't know when.
If you're just getting into the show, we're talking to Kendra Jae. You are definitely an inspiration. Like I just met you 3 seconds ago. I'm inspired because my daughter is in dance. My daughter's in dance. She's in the competition team. So I'm that dad you're talking about. I just spent $1,200 yesterday on some fee, and then tomorrow she owes another $800, and then she has to go on practice 6 times a week. And then the lady like, yo, this is a lot, but
it's an investment.
We're spending thousands of dollars, and she's only 9 years old. And I'm listening to your story. She was just on Hip Hop Harry. So like everything that you're saying, I'm like, this is crazy. I feel like she's talking about my daughter Ashton.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Ashton.
I can't wait for my daughter Ashton to actually watch this interview, because like you're saying some things she needs to hear, that potentially who knows where this dancing can take her. And I feel like a lot of times as moms and dads, you want the best for your kids, but ideally you have this vision of the ideal job or career that they have. So when they say, I want to be a DJ, I want to be a dancer, it's like, I was told this is not a real job. I was told that. Now,
same.
Years later, I'm this, but coming up as a kid, DJing is not a real job. I'm sure you probably heard maybe once in your life, dancing might not lead you somewhere, find a real job. But look where you
go to college, get a degree, get a job. Yeah. I was told that for sure. So I resonate with what you're saying so much.
Now, once again, you toured with Beyonce, you toured with Drake. I couldn't even imagine what those NDAs looked like when you first toured. I could imagine.
Crazy.
They have you signing stuff like you're not even allowed to look the word Beyonce or Drake before you come out on the stage. But that's a whole nother story. Now, from there, you become now a solo artist. You're a solo artist, songwriter, dancer, and you have a super dope record that I'm actually playing on my show, featuring Saweetie, who's a great friend of the show by the name of SeaSaw. How did that song come about?
So SeaSaw, we did SeaSaw. I did SeaSaw with my bro Trev Rich. Shout out to Trev Rich, one of my favorite writers to work with. He's incredibly talented from Denver. We locked in. It was our first time in the studio together, and SeaSaw was born. So when SeaSaw came about on a introductory session, we was like, okay, we locked in. Like SeaSaw was just one of them ones. It's rhythmic, it's melodic. We talked about some real shit. We knew it was going to be relatable. And I felt like it was going to be a really good single for me. Still, as an independent artist, I was planning to put that out independent. Saweetie just happened to pull up to the crib one day. I happened to be playing it. You know how it is when you leave the studio and you got this new record. It's like on repeat for a few days. You're trying to figure out if you want to change anything. Like, I was just sitting with the record. She loved it. She was just like, yo, this slaps. Like, send it to me. So I texted to her, not really thinking anything of it.
All right.
And it was no like, let's do an exchange. Let me give you a feature. It was just on some like, this slap, I want to hear it in the car. A few weeks later, she FaceTimed me from the studio and she was bumping SeaSaw and it was like the hook and I'm vibing with her. And next thing you know, I'm like, hold on, is that you? And she laid a verse and was just like, surprise, like, I want to put it on my project. That was when she was putting together the Pretty Summer playlist. And, you know, she was doing a compilation project of a bunch of different artists that she believed in that were up next, and SeaSaw just kind of fit the vibe. And from there it was like, okay, I need management, I need an attorney, I didn't really have my team together. I was still developing my craft. So I'm super, super thankful for her, you know, to her for jumping on the record and really, you know, giving it the look that it needed. And then now moving on to have signed with Def Jam and 1022 and to see how they're pushing and working the record. Like, it's crazy. It came out in April, but it's like so many people still haven't heard the record and it's really moving. So
it takes time to break a record. I tell a lot of new artists, it's a story about artists I used to work with, and I remember it took them like 3 years for their single to catch, and they got so frustrated. And I said, unfortunately, every day there's somebody who's never heard of Kendra Jae and never heard the record. So as big as you might be in your circle of friends or people you're around, there's a new person you meet daily that still has to break that record and make a lasting impression. And I definitely want to say you've definitely done that on me already. Like I said, I can't wait to actually meet you in person and hang out with you and show you the city. I'm a radio guy, but my alias, if you ask anybody, is the Party Kingpin.
I don't know if I'm ready.
When it comes to the turn up, I'm not saying
take a light on me.
I always say that there's two people in the industry that know how to turn up, and I'm both of them.
Okay. All right. Well, let me see.
So we're gonna turn now. Of course, like I say, you start off as this dancer. Now you're a singer. You have a record out that's moving. What do you enjoy most, singing or dancing?
I love that question. I think that music has allowed me to join both of my passions. Like, now creating my own records, I'm able to bring my love for movement into what I do. Obviously, I'm always going to dance to what I do, but I'm able to create and like spread my wings as an artist. And you know, essentially dance is like storytelling through movement. So now I'm able to do that through movement and through music and really kind of connect with people on a more personal level. You can only touch but so many people with dance. And so now I feel like I'm able to touch more people by being able to do both in one. It's like really honestly a dream come true, because I came up like a music head. My pops is like hip hop, R&B head. Like all the car rides we used to have, like me and my dad really connected over music. He used to like play a song and be like, KB, look, I got chills, and he's bald, so he would have chills on his head and chills on his arm. And he just taught me like how music makes people feel and like the power that it has. And I feel like that's something that I definitely have carried with me as I now go on and create my own shit. It's like I want people to feel me.
That's something that I always tell people. I always say music is probably the most important art form in the world, because it literally can change your emotion. Like you can be having the best day of your life, and then you hear a song and remind you of some guy that messed you over. Now your whole day's messed up. Or vice versa. You can be having a horrible day, and then you hear a song that you used to hear with your dad in the car, and now your emotions are different. Like
it's powerful, man.
That's the power of music. And I tell people that's why it's so important for artists like yourself to make long-lasting music. I feel like over the years, a lot of us, we're looking for that hit. We're looking for that one hit, because that hit can trend in social media. It makes you feel bigger than life, but then it goes away fast. You want to make something that's going to stand the test of time. You work with Beyonce and Drake, so if you don't know, you know what it looks like, because you have people that you've worked with already in the past that have been proven over decades to make long-lasting impressions. Here's a random question. Once again, if you're just sitting there, we're talking to Kendra Jae, has a record, SeaSaw, that's popping. Make sure you stream it, download it, request it, not just on my show, but everywhere. Who was the hardest to work with on tour, Beyonce or Drake?
Hardest to work with. Oh, I feel like you're trying to get me caught up.
I don't want to get you in trouble, so I ain't trying to trend.
No.
Who was the? Let me rephrase it. Who was the most perfectionist? Like they had to have it right, or you know for a fact that one wrong move, you're going home.
Okay, so that question is I'm glad we steered it, in that direction, because what made Beyonce a bit more difficult is because she is a dancer. when you get on stage with Drake, he's an entertainer, but Drake isn't doing choreo with us.
Right.
So there's a certain level of freedom of like breathing room, because you don't have to, we're just there as an asset to his records. Right. We're like, you know, just the sexy girls they put on stage to bring the show to life. With Beyonce, you're an extension of her movement, her brand, everything. So it's a lot more, the stakes are a bit higher because she's hitting the steps with you, you know? So I think the work ethic and the time that she invests into perfecting her craft, her stage show, is something that I'll take with me forever, because she will be there before us and she will be there after us. Like, she don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Beyonce's the GOAT. It's not even arguable. Like, if people argue, like, argue with yourself or go argue with your best friend. Like,
yeah, what are we talking about?
Like,
right?
What are we talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they were so polar opposites in terms of experiences that once I had both, I'm like, I've seen enough. Like, I've arguably the best female entertainer, vocalist of all time, of our time. Right. And Drake, male, you know what I'm saying, artist of the decade. Like, who else do I need to touch road with to feel like I'm equipped with what I need to go out here and do what I need to do? So I just really like took from everyone that I worked with and everyone in between, the Dua Lipas, the BB Rexas, the Tygas, the Gwen Stefani's. Like, I've touched road with so many people, Saweetie, like, and I just feel like it gave me a piece of like everything that worked for them. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take this, leave that. I'm gonna tweak this in terms of, you know, the team I build around me and how I want to run my stuff. You know, I'm the CEO of what I do. And I think being around such like bossy, independent, successful artists really like exposed me to that. And now I'm like forever chasing that.
Well, I'm definitely rooting for you. I'm a fan of Kendra Jae. I've already been playing your record before I met you, but now I'm gonna really go in. So I know Ike's probably in the background like, yes, Kendra, you sold him. He's gonna play your record every day now. We got him. But you're really dope, man. Keep doing your thing. Like I say, for anybody that's just watches, I'm praying that it inspires somebody, especially a young girl like my daughter Ashton, who has her vision. If you ask her, she's 9 years old. If you ask my daughter, she wants to work for NASA and be like this big astronaut. But her passion is dancing.
Yes.
So she started dancing maybe when she's about 6. And first she was like on like the little girl team. Yeah. Eventually she tried out for the competition team. She was so nervous. But this is the one that actually travels and competes. Yep. And then when she made the competition team, you couldn't tell anything. I mean, she was just on a high horse. And now as mom and dad, we like, this dancing better take us somewhere. Dad's spending $2,000-3,000 every month in dance fees. But it starts with y'all. Like, my dad too was just like, you know, you can get paid to do what you love. Like, it comes from that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Ashley. I hope she sticks with it. I do want to tell you that I have a new single dropping Friday, 10/22. Okay. So you can get more from me. I love that you're supporting SeaSaw. Keep supporting SeaSaw, but also know that we got another record on the way as well. Do you tell me the name of the next record? Yeah, it's called Big. 10/22. Big. Yep. And what is Big about? Tell me what Big is about. Big is about, like we just talked about, I've been big. You know what I'm saying? I may have been in the background. I come from a dance background. I come from playing small to a certain extent. But when I look back at like just my life, even from, like you said, the age of your daughter, like 5 and 6, I've got videos of my dad, like, this the next superstar right here. Like, it's been in me. So it's my ambitious record. It's a little cocky to a certain extent, kind of let people know, like, I paid my dues. It's confident. Yeah, confident. Exactly. Like, I paid my dues and now I'm making big moves. And now that's a big mood. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in big shoes. So it's one of them ones. The hook is crazy. It shows some versatility. I get a flow off. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a rapper, but I'm an artist. I'm gonna do what I need to do on the record. But I just don't want to be boxed in. And we trying to show people my versatility early. And the record it's a big record. Okay, well, I can't wait to hear and play Big very soon. In the meantime, make sure y'all request all of her music. Do you have any past projects that people can stream? Like, I have a few singles out. Yeah, I've got YKT. I've got a record called 916. That's where I'm from. Got a record called Persona. So my catalog is relatively small, but not for long. We coming with a project top of the year. There you go. Talk your stuff. Talk that stuff right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, man, you've officially met Kendra Jae. Keep doing your thing. If people want to follow you on social, where can they follow you and find you at?
All my socials at It's Kendra Jae, ITS Kendra Jae. That's Twitter, TikTok, and IG.
And I'm following that Kendra J right now.
I'm gonna follow back.
Mine is
I'm gonna
at
see you
Kendra-
later too. Turn
at,
up.
so, at Kendra J. Let me make sure I got you.
It's Kendra Jae. Yep. It's
Wifey.
wifey. Yep.
I found you. You should see me. I just followed you. All right. Well, congratulations, Kendra J. We're gonna turn up
Thank
tonight.
you so much.
Any
All
last,
right, I'll see you soon.
Any last words for anybody that's already supporting you right now? That's been supporting you since your Beyonce Drake touring days.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the support. Like you said, I'm just really here to tell my story and shine my light, be an inspiration to people, and do what I came to do. So I appreciate the support. It's more coming. Yeah, thank you all. Appreciate you.
Keep doing your thing. You heard it first right here. Quicksilver Show.
Thank you.
Kendra J. Salute, baby.
Peace out.